Zimbabwe. We thank God for what God is doing in Zimbabwe. Can I say this to all African countries? Change is a must. And it is sweeping all around. It has started from the southern region, or South Africa, or Southern Africa, and I know it is entering West Africa. Either we like it or not, it must flow. It's a revolution, a prophetic agenda, political players. God has entered the football field of politics and is playing the ball with his angels. I say in 2019, in this country, the mighty men will be disappointed. Those who think they can do political permutation, they are about to fail in their prediction. I don't care what you think. It's time for Nigeria to rise again. Are you blessed? Okay, I talked about our great leader in, like I said, Zimbabwe is experiencing a cloud of change. And if you meet any Zimbabwe today and you are discussing with them, they say, oh, there is a change. There is a change. That testimony is wonderful. There is a change. There is a change. We are seeing change. And that's it. Hallelujah. So I talked about the opposition leader, and I think it was a prophetic advice. A great man who God has called him to glory now. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. We are going to pray for Zimbabwe as time goes on in this service. If you are ready at the console there, can you just play that?
On the 31st of December 2016, during the crossover and candlelight service of Champions Royal Assembly, Brother Joshua Iginla gave a word of prophecy to the nation of Zimbabwe. According to his word, I see a seat of a former African leader empty because of death.
I see a seat of a former African leader empty because of death. I say this, some politicians who are intending to rule and rule and rule and rule. Hear what God said to me when I asked God, how will this be? Because as long as they are on the scene, nothing anybody can do about it. Hear what God said to me. I speak to you in the same language. He said, son, is it not the living that will rule? Is it not the living that will rule? But dead body cannot rule. Not be a senator, not be a governor, not be etc.
Brother Joshua Iginla repeated this prophecy, giving specific details on the 31st of December 2017 on our crossover service. He said, the Zimbabwean opposition leader should spend more time on his health. These were his exact words.
The opposition leader, a great man with great strength, about Morgan. Great man. But God said to spend more time on his health because I see him between life and death. He should just leave politics and sustain his life. I see him between life and death. He should just leave politics and sustain his life.
Note these words in the prophecy. Brother Joshua Iginla was so specific as he mentioned the name of the Zimbabwean opposition leader, Morgan Van Gira.
Zimbabwe opposition leader, a great man, a man with great strength. I'm talking about Morgan Van Gira. And I'm talking about Morgan
Vangirai.
Brother Joshua Iginla was direct when he said, I see him between life and death.
I see him between life and death. He should just leave politics and sustain his life. I see him between life and death. He should just leave politics and sustain his life.
In confirmation of the prophecy, on the 14th of February, Morgan Vangira, a veteran Zimbabwean opposition leader, died as prophesied by Brother Joshua Iginla.
Well, huge crowds have turned out in the Zimbabwean capital, Harare, for a memorial service in honour of the late opposition leader and former Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai. He led the MDC since its formation in 1999 and was the main opponent of the former president, Robert Mugabe. Many hail him as a national hero. Shingai Nyoka was with the mourners earlier today.
Our neighbouring countries' regional opposition leaders, eminent persons, trade unions and diplomats have all bid farewell to Zimbabwe's opposition leader Morgan Tsvangirai in Buhera. Former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga delivered the most awaited address, but MDC interim leader Nelson Chamisa had to call for calm before supporters could allow a representative of the governing party of Zimbabwe, the ZANU-PF, to speak.
A final farewell. Morgan Richard Tsvangirai will no longer steer the course of politics in Zimbabwe. His quest to defeat former President Robert Mugabe saw him beaten by police and jailed during election campaigning. For this, MDCT supporters are still not ready to embrace the ruling ZANU-PF.
All the leaders, thank you very much. Youth Wing, to Dr. Mutere, thank you for listening. We are going to listen.
Earlier in the week, President Emerson Mnangagwa appealed to politicians to honor Tsvangirai's legacy by making the country's upcoming elections fair and non-violent, but opposition peers say it's all in their hands.
Listen to the voice of the people.
To his supporters, Morgan Richard Tsvangirai was a man who challenged Zimbabwe's longtime leader, Robert Mugabe, at a time when few people dared to do so. But it was a long and sometimes painful journey. In 1999, Tsvangirai, then a trade union leader, formed the opposition party, the Movement for Democratic Change. In the years that followed, he organized protests to try and force Mugabe out of office. He was beaten while in police custody, charged with treason, jailed several times, and labeled a traitor by Mugabe supporters.
Tsvangirai succumbed to colon cancer at a Johannesburg hospital last Wednesday. Ntakwana Ngatani, SABC News.
How do you know a true prophet when he speaks and it comes to pass?